Hi guys, welcome back to another school tips video. This one is going to be about writing an essay, and I've written a lot of essays and they aren't my favorite, but you can get a really good grade if you follow these steps. And this will mostly be for like research papers, not really about like short story types of papers. It's more just research papers about organizing a bunch of information into a paper that has a thesis and supporting details and all of that. So it's really important to be organized when you're writing a paper, to have everything laid out and prepared before you start typing, so that way you'll get your paper done really fast and it'll be organized. And yeah, so this is my tips on how to write an essay. 3 things that I like to do, which is strategize, organize, and utilize. So first, you want to strategize your paper. First, you want to know the requirements of the paper. Your professor will most likely tell you what type of format you need. If it's MLA, APA, the page range, how many pages it should be, and then the font requirements, if it has to be Times New Roman, 12-point font, if it needs to be double space or single space. And then if your professor wants a header or footer with your name, with the page numbers, anything like that, make sure to get that information ahead of time. And then also, of course, know the due date for the paper. And remember, if you have any questions about your paper, to ask ahead of time, so that way you don't need to do any adjustments when your paper is done. When you're strategizing your paper, this is pretty much making an outline. I think making an outline is a great way to just brainstorm all of your ideas for your paper. First, you want to have your thesis statement, and then you want to have your intro, the body, and the conclusion or the ending. So for the body, which is the main part of the paper, you want to have, I think, like 3 to 5 main topics that you want to talk about, and this all has to relate to your thesis. And at the top, always have the thesis, because you're always going to be referring back to that, making sure all your main points and your details all relate to the main thesis of your paper. Now you want to organize all the information that you have. Depending on what type of information you're getting, if you're getting it from an online source, make sure the source is credible, or if you're getting them from books or from lectures or from readings, make sure to have it all gathered. And then once it's all gathered, you want to organize it into your outline. So you want to take all the information and just put it into where they fit. That's what I like to do, because I like to have each main topic have all of the supporting details, and I want to have all that information already done and researched. You're just separating the supporting details into the main topics, which is the body of your paper. I like to make sure I have enough information for each one, so it's kind of even, so we have enough information for all main topics. And once I have all the information and I know where it's going to be, I like to take 3 separate pieces of paper depending on the main topic. So if I have 3 main topics, I have 3 separate sheets of paper, and at the top of each I like to write what is the main topic of each. And then on the bottom of that page, I like to make like a brief list of all of the supporting details and where they're from. So I'm going to say that this topic is from this reading, so I can always reference back to that reading if I need more details. So that way you have an extended outline. So what I like to do is I like to have a first sheet of paper that has the basic outline, and then I have 3 separate sheets of paper connected to that will have the body going into more detail. And then from there I can go to reference my research and everything that I have. So when I start typing it out, I will know exactly like how my paper is going to be laid out and where exactly to get all the information that I need. So now it's time to type out your paper. It should be easy since everything is already organized, but I like to do the works cited or the bibliography first, just to get it out of the way, and make sure to do it in the correct format. If your professor wants you to cite internally in your paper, then make sure you do that. And having the bibliography typed out already, it'll be easier to reference to. When I start my my paper, I don't do the intro first. I like to start off with the body, and that way I can get my ideas flowing, and then from there I like to do the intro after that and then the conclusion, because the words seem to flow better in the introduction once I've finished the main topics of my paper. Remember to restate your thesis and to make sure everything all comes together in your paper and it all relates to your thesis and everything is cohesive and organized. So once everything is typed out, you can do your finishing touches if you want to shift around any paragraphs or sentences. If you want to go ahead and add page numbers or header footer, you can go ahead and do that. Make sure the font is correct and the spacing, and remember to run spell check and grammar, of course. I also like to go over each page and make sure the spacing is correct, and I like to go over to just check if everything is okay before printing it out. So once you're done, you can print it and then you can do your happy dance because you are done with your essay. So I hope these tips helped you out. If you have any more tips you'd like to add, then please leave it down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!